Hey, this is Justin Clark here with Veterans Referring Veterans, and I'm super excited once again. I'm always super excited to meet these guys, but I've got Brandon down here with Deep South Creations. So he's enjoying the heat down there in South Carolina. And hey, man, I'm super excited to have you on. So, Brandon, tell us a little bit about yourself. And you're a Marine too, right?
Yeah.
I don't say was a Marine. You were. Can't say
Still
that.
am, real fast.
So,
yeah, I was in the Marine Corps for 8 years. When I got out, I was a police officer for 2, and I had a disability come up that from the military that kind of took me away from that. So I resigned from there and bounced around from job to job. And I know I've seen some of your previous videos where you say all veterans either get into coffee or woodworking. It wasn't my intention at all. I mean, we just started tinkering around with wood and signs and stuff, and the flags I had one guy wanting a flag, and it just exploded from there. I mean, it's remarkable how many creators of the flags there are out there, but how there's still such a big market for it. I mean, you would think, you go on Facebook Marketplace and I can find 20 people within a 30-mile radius of me that have some form of a wood flag. It may not be the prettiest, but everybody makes it. So, I mean, I don't know. We started out with the wood signs, and we do laser engraved pictures, and I mean, I pretty much do whatever anybody wants. Yeah. I've got a big box right here behind me. It's not done yet, but a guy wanted it he's got a pressure washing business, and so I had to coat it and everything. He's going to put it in his trailer to keep his chemicals in. I was like, yeah, man, I can, it's just whatever people want, I try to make. I make crates and go ahead.
Yeah, I've seen yours too. That was really caught my attention with the autism flags on that. They look absolutely incredible. So I pass those a lot to my civilian friends, because obviously I didn't know what the puzzle piece stood for, way back in the day. It was actually one of my buddies I was stationed with he had the tattoo of it, and he's telling me, it was for autism. I was like, oh, so now when I see it, and then I saw one of your wood pieces with it, and you even incorporated it into, you've done multiple things with them, and we'll throw up some pictures of that too later. But they're great, man. I love it. And speaking with you with your wooden flag pieces, there's tons of people do it, but I think the market's so big because all of you guys are so unique and with what you're doing and your own personal touches on it. It's not, none of these things are coming from a factory all the same. Everyone's individual, handcrafted. So are you doing everything there at the house there, or you out of the garage?
I've got a 10 by 12 shop outside. It's my little sweatshop.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I do most of it out there, but inside I coat them and protect them and everything inside the house, because I don't have enough room to lay out 12 flags and paint them all at the same time. So my wife's nice enough to let me bring them in the house in the air conditioner at night and coat them and let them dry so they don't mess up. And then we pack and ship and everything out of our bedroom. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there's boxes and bubble wrap and stuff piled in the corner. Yeah. But, we make it work until we can afford to build a bigger shop.
Yeah. So with this woodworking too, do you find it like a form of therapy for you with everything and all that?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I didn't start out with this in mind of being a business. Mm-hmm. I've been doing this for a little over a year, about 14 months. And I just started it just to kind of give me something to do and get me out of the house and take my mind off of everything. And it just went from there. My wife, she'll come outside and she kind of gets frustrated at me because she'll walk in the shop and there's pieces of wood everywhere. She's like, what do you got going on here? And I can tell her each piece goes to this flag. They're all in different stages, but I know exactly what's going on in there. And she's just like, I'm not even going to bother. So she helps like cutting out vinyl and stuff, because I hand carve a lot of it with a Dremel. I don't have a CNC machine. I've got a laser, but right now it's been down for a couple of weeks. I've had a lot of issues out of that thing in the past year. I won't say the name of the brand or anything, but if anybody is curious what brand to stay away from, send me a message and I'll let you know. We've dropped hundreds of dollars trying to fix it, and I mean it's back down again. So I'm back dremeling everything, which I mean I don't mind, and I like. I do, dremeling it by hand. So, but she cuts out all the vinyl stencils for me, and I stick them on the flag and dremel them out and go to town. So I mean, just having her do that it's a big help.
Yeah,
we've got 3 kids. My daughter, she's not too interested in helping out yet. She tried the whole wood burning thing, and then she's tried to run the Dremel, and she's not really interested in it. My middle son, he loves, and he's the reason why we did a lot of autism stuff, because he's on the autism spectrum.
Oh, okay.
And we donated a lot to different charities because, I mean, it hits home for us.
Yeah.
And he loves the sand, paint. He's actually pretty good to be 8 with a Dremel. I mean, he picked it right up and went to town with it. And I was I mean, he's working on that. And then our 5-year-old, he thinks he's the salesman of the family. He's got to go somewhere, and we'll pull up in the parking lot. He'll get mad if I won't open his door up, because I don't get him out of the car for just delivering one, But I have to open his door, and he'll peek his head out and look at him. Y'all, you want to buy a flag? And they're like, well, I already bought one. You pay my daddy for it? And I'm like, dude, just sit down and hush.
Oh, that's funny, man. That's cool.
He's looking at me right now.
Yeah. So you want some sales, you better start talking about me. No, that's awesome, man. That's way cool. So did you do... Oh, sorry. I think the connection's a little slow. I was gonna quick ask you, did you do woodworking type stuff beforehand, or how did you get into this, I guess? Like how with your learning how to do all this?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Growing up, I played sports and chased girls around. I never picked up a power tool till I was probably 23, 24. I mean, I just didn't really have. I mean, I'd get up on the roof and help him hammer nails in or stuff like that, but I just didn't have an inch. I've always been an artist growing up, drawing and painting and doing things like that, but never really woodworking. And I bought a sign from a guy. He lives 30 minutes from here, for my wife for Christmas, and he had a laser engraver. And I actually got to go into his shop and kind of watch it, and I was like, well, this is pretty cool,
Yeah.
So I come home, and I thought about it for a while. And I asked him, and I was like, hey, I'm thinking about getting one of these to try to do some signs or, something else. Hobby, basically.
Yeah.
And he told me, he said, I can do one of 2 things. I can save my business, or I've got a brand new laser that's sitting over here that I've never used that I can sell you. So I went back up there and looked, and what it was is he had a bigger laser he had been using for a long time, and he bought the smaller one to do like a desktop size, I think the beds on it is 12 by 20. And when he got it delivered, it was 2 different softwares. So he didn't want to edit one way and then put it into a different software. He was like, it just didn't make sense. So, I mean, I brought it home. We insulated the shop and run the power to it and everything, because you've got to have air conditioning. You've got to have heat, because there's water in it that cools the tube off. And if it freezes, it'll bust the tube. So I spent 3 days running power to it and getting all of that done, and basically just took wood, started sticking it in and doing different designs and seeing what I could make and what works and everything. And I mean, it's going from there. We went through last Christmas season and did pretty good. We did a couple of shows, and just this year's been tremendous growth. I mean, the Chris Kyle Frog Foundation, for my wife and I, when we got married, we didn't have a honeymoon. We basically got married, and I got orders, and we shipped out a month later. We get down to Beaufort. We get to Beaufort. We move in February 1st. February 13th, they sent me to Yuma, Arizona for 3 months. So here my pregnant wife is. She just found out she was pregnant, but she was pregnant. We just moved it. The house wasn't even unpacked or anything. So we didn't get a honeymoon. And 2 years ago, I found the Chris Kyle Frog Foundation, and they send couples on retreats.
Yeah.
And so I wrote an essay about our marriage and everything, and didn't think we would get selected, but we actually did. And for our they sent us the weekend of our 10-year anniversary down to Florida for 4 days and paid for everything.
Wow, that's cool.
They sent us a Ruth Chris Steakhouse. I didn't feel comfortable going in there and just ordering on somebody else's dime. And cheapest steak was like $40. I was like, whoa.
Wow.
So they did that for us. And when I started making the flags and everything, I contacted the lady at the foundation that I'd worked with previously. And I said, hey, I've started doing this woodworking. I would like to make you guys a flag with the Chris Kyle Frog Foundation logo as a thank you.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, absolutely. So I made it up and sent it out to them, and it's hanging in their headquarters down there in Texas.
Really, dude? That's sweet.
Yeah.
That's way sweet.
They thanked me for it and everything, and fast forward 3 or 4 months later, and they contacted me going, hey, would you be interested in doing another couple flags? We got some big events coming up. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we donate all the time to Mission 22. We sent Sheepdog a flag for one of their giveaway. I mean, I'm going to help out a good cause.
Yeah.
So she said, yeah, you just do whatever design you want and come up with something. So I came up with the Texas flag and the American flag with the 3D frog that is raised up and sent them in, and they fell in love with it. So I was so my brain started thinking, I said, well, would you guys possibly interested in doing like a partnership? I mean, you market my flags on your site and you get a percentage of the Chris Kyle flags that I sell. And they loved it. I mean, the market, she took the pictures and they sent it. It took them maybe a day to get back to me and say, yeah, put it up. And yeah, I mean, it's done pretty good. They put it out on their site, and people have been buying left and right. So, and it helps them out too, and I'm working on, I've got a couple of others. I mean, you can't really say anything when you're in the negotiation phase, but
right.
Well, I'm trying to help out and work with too. I mean, I don't know. Some people look at you and they say, well, you're greedy, you're just trying to use that well, I mean, on one point, I'm trying to get myself out there, but at the same time, I'm helping a nonprofit or an organization out that helps other families, and they don't have to do anything. All they can do is rubber stamp and say, yeah, go ahead and sell them.
Yeah. No, I think just looking at your social media profiles and stuff, you can see it with your flags and the stuff you're doing with the kids organizations and, with your autism flags and all that. It's great. Even anytime I've got something going on with giveaways or whatever, you're always like the first one to jump in. And actually, one of the things that was pretty cool is we had our event in North Carolina, and we had Brian come up from Fantasy Football Alliance. And when he got on board, he was looking for sponsors, and you, of course, jumped in with them. And it was really cool because he came up to my event. I wasn't able to have you come up because I think you were doing I think that was one of the raceway gigs you were doing. But he was able to come down and meet you and come see the shop, which is cool. And then you made him some cool looking dice, right? So I love that. I love that you guys within the VRV, got connected and you guys are helping each other out. So that's going towards some, I don't know what he's doing with them.
Basically, he posted on the VRV page that he was looking for somebody to make him some wood dice. Mm-hmm. And there was a couple of people that jumped on there, and I went on there. I was like, well, what are you looking for, And he called me 5 minutes later, and we spent an hour and a half on the phone. It started out. He was like, I'm just looking. Some people you've got to sell on stuff, and Brian's good at talking to people. So I think he was trying to give me a sales pitch, but he didn't realize I was already in, He's like, well, basically I'm sponsoring one of their bowl games for the fantasy football. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, what do you need? How much is it or what? He said, no, I just want the wood dice made. And I was like, well, okay. I mean, what size are you looking for? What do you want on them? And he's like, well, let me come up with the designs and all that. And I was like, I got no problem making it. And we actually found out he's in Augusta, which is only an hour and 20 minutes from me, maybe.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
phone at all. And then when you had that VRV event in North Carolina, we couldn't come to. He messaged me or actually called me. He said, "We can actually swing through." He said, "I'd just like to see your shop and just meet you face to face." And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So he came down. I think he stayed for about an hour or two, and we talked and everything. So, and the dice, what they're going to do, I don't really understand it myself. I play fantasy baseball some, but according to him, the bowl game at the end of the year, I think there's two teams, and they're going to roll the dice, and whatever it comes up on, they have to draft that person. So if you roll the kicker first, you got to draft a kicker with your first pick.
He's got, dude, I looked at his website with his it's not your typical fantasy football stuff, man. It goes deep. So anybody that's listening that into fantasy football, head over to Fantasy Sports Alliance, man. Hey, I said your name right too, Brian. Can you believe that? I always say Fantasy Football Alliance or something to that matter. But a Fantasy Sports Alliance, so FSA. But yeah, he's great, and that details he's gotten there. He's got it nailed down.
Okay.
But it's good. But yeah, I'm glad you guys are able to connect because I'm interested to see what he does with that. So that'll be cool, man.
Me too. I mean, hopefully he doesn't get mad at me kind of showing them all. I didn't really show the details, but I got to get them in the mail to him, which he said they won't use them until probably November, somewhere near the end of the year. But I don't like waiting until the last minute on something. So
yeah. No, that's cool. Well, thanks for doing that, and thanks for reaching out, and thanks for everything you're doing, with us, man. It's awesome because you're always one of the more active people, I guess, if we're putting stuff out there, man, you're on it. So it's great. So thanks for that. So it's cool.
Oh, yeah.
So where can people go? What's the best area to go and find you out if they're wanting to see your products and make a purchase?
You can go Facebook, Deep South Creations, or you can just go online and go to deepsouthcreations.com.
Okay.
And
all right, cool.
Everything we've got's on there, and you can buy from the site. I mean, we've got Instagram, we've got Facebook, Etsy, a website. It's a lot to keep up with. But, I mean, in this day and age, you've got different people that use different platforms. So we've got a Snapchat. I mean, I would have thought Snapchat would have been something that companies use, but I had a guy that told me, he was like, that's how I built my brand, was on Snapchat.
That's crazy.
Really?
No, you never know, dude. Because honestly, right now and I'd always hear it from people about how, they're suppressing this and that and da-da-da with social media. Man, I've been getting, I think you've seen my posts. I've been getting knocked so hard for, trying to boost stuff, trying to advertise. Just my posts in general are getting, destroyed. And that's what I think is really important, though, too, is having these networking and socials where we're face-to-face and we're, you can't stop us there, you know what I mean?
No.
So
that's why I try to comment on a lot of stuff that you guys put up or share or whatever, because it gives you organic reach where you don't have to pay for it. But if more people comment on it, it gives you more reach, and it's harder for them to kind of suppress you that way. Because trust me, I know what you're talking about. We did the post announcing our partnership with Chris Kyle. I hit the boost on it, and immediately got a message from Facebook that it was flagged and denied. So I scrolled down and read, and it said because it had political
in nature.
Yeah, I wasn't a political. I was like, there's nothing political about it. And of course, I reviewed it and put it in for a review. And 10 minutes later, you're right. Our computers got it wrong this time.
Dude, I had my last one last month. We did an event at Veteran Coffee Roasters, and I had my logo, and I had Veteran Coffee Roasters logo, which is just a circle with a V in it, and they got a faint flag in there. And I had a bunch of coffee beans at the bottom. Right, that was it. Nothing else. And I got flagged for being political in nature, of national importance. And then of course I was like, whatever, I'll just fight it. Usually I just fight it, and it's just done with. They'll push it through. 7 or 8 times, and then I gave up. I was like, I can't do it. I'm like, it's literally a networking event at a coffee shop. You can't get. I was like, I don't care who's at our events. It's open to everybody. Nothing matters, man. It's all about bringing everybody together. But it's crazy the stuff you see now. Now this month I've got one at Dart Wars on the 26th. The Dart Wars down here is at Nerf Gun Arena. Yeah. So of course I'm like, oh, I'm gonna wait to see this one get suppressed down with having Nerf guns, because they're pretty offensive. But
you better not put the word gun in there. You better put like,
I know that's the thing. I'm trying to. How do I word this?
Something.
People can have fun with, I guess, foam balls. I guess I don't know.
Something. You better not put gun in there, because they will flag it immediately. Because those gun concealment cases, I messed up the first time I put one and put American flag gun concealment case, and it was flagged immediately.
Do you still put concealment on there?
Yeah, but I just don't put gun anymore.
Okay. That's the word.
There's been a couple of times, I mean, I've seen where they'll flag it just because it says American flag on it. Just the way you word the post or whatever, and they'll flag it and kick it out.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
man. Yeah, and I didn't believe it at the beginning, but now I'm getting hit with it, and it's nuts. So, But anyway, so everybody that's out there, comment, share each other's stuff, and especially with your stuff. So it's the way we got to support each other and get that word out there. But yeah, brother, I freaking love what you're doing, man, and I know other people do too. So thank you for being so supportive of what we're doing and what you're doing in the community, especially the Chris Koch Foundation and the autism awareness. That's super special. So that's great. And then we'll after this video too, stay tuned. I'll slap some pictures in there of some of his work so everybody can see it. So yeah, you got anything else to say?
No, I don't think I've shut up the whole time. I will say you got more out of me in 20 minutes or however long we've been on here than a lot of people get. Most of the time, I normally sit back and don't say much. So my wife, if she sees this, she's going to be like, you didn't shut up the whole time.
Good, dude. Good. Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm glad I make you feel comfortable.
Yeah, I'm getting better by it. I mean, when we first started it, I was very good at creating the stuff and not very good at talking to people and finalizing the sale. So that's something I've had to overcome over the past years, just to be able, people are kind of creeping by your booth when we do a show, they want to come over and look, but at the same time, they don't know if they want to. I've kind of got now where we can reel them in and they come over, and just, I don't know, just a lot of people like the smaller things, like you talking about donating stuff and doing things.
Right. Well, I think it's good because this, like what we're doing right now, was really hard for me to do. It was really hard to put my face out there because with the VRV, I wanted it just about the logo. Everybody's heard my spiel. I didn't want me to be involved with it whatsoever. But then, I'm asking you guys to be personal with stuff, and everybody. I was getting questions if I was even a vet, this and that. So, anyways, here we are. But it is hard. It's very hard to put yourself out there. I find myself, it's easier to push you guys out. Like if I'm out at events and I've got whatever, I've still got a bunch of, actually, I need some more of your cards because I seriously only got about 5 or 6 left. It's crazy. But I can push everybody out. I was down at Fort Carson today at an appointment, and this lady had this flag, and I was asking her where she got it from, and it was a retirement gift, and I started, of course, I bring up the VRV, and I start talking about all my woodworkers that are on there, and and I can, just go out there. But if it's talking about myself, man, I hate it. And but I've got to overcome that, And I think like at our events too, when we're down here doing certain things, like I had a bunch of my guys on the radio and this and that, where you wouldn't normally do that, but all of us together, coming together and just doing that, we were all like scared, but it's good when we do that. And especially putting out, my very first event, I'll never forget, man. I didn't know how people were going to perceive this thing and this and that, but I had a couple of my local VRV guys here with me, and man, we just banged it out, and we were talking to everybody, and it was awesome. And it's something like, I guarantee you, if I would have just been at that tent by myself, I would have been sitting there waiting for people to come to me, just like, what do I say? But instead we're all more comfortable. So yeah. So I'm glad you're talking. And I
mean, I think what you're doing is great,
Oh,
and
thanks,
I think it's special because out in the non-veteran world, you don't see many companies willing to, give a shout out to somebody, like Four Brothers. I actually ordered some stuff from them, tried their product out, and they sent a sticker and a business card.
Yeah.
Well, I went to the Mission 22 event in Georgia, and it was at a brewery. So I was like, I took his card in there and gave it to the brewery, and I was like, I don't know if you guys be interested in carrying their stuff, but it's a possibility. And another lady, the Mission 22 lady there, she knew one of the distributors in Georgia, and she took a picture of the card and sent it to the distributor.
Yeah.
It may lead sales for him, it may not, but at the same time, I could say I tried at least, and on my table, I've got a wood table for all my shows that I built myself, and on the top of it, I've got a VRV sticker. I've got all of the veteran companies, that I've got stickers from. They've each got one on my table. That way, when people come up and they're looking at my stuff, they might see the VRV sticker or Patriot Beard Supply or, any of those guys and go, what is that? And go to their phone and look it up. And it may lead to a sale for somebody.
Yeah.
It may not. So, if anybody out there is interested in doing like a sticker swap or sending some cards, send them to me. I do most of the shows that I do, there's 5,000 to 10,000 people at least at them, because I try to gear myself towards the bigger ones that I'm going to do good at. I do smaller ones from Mission 22 and stuff, but around Christmas time, we do 2 or 3 shows that have 10,000 people that come through over 4 days. So if you want to send a sticker out and I'll plop it on the table, that way people can see it, I've got no problem with it at all.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's sweet. Thanks for that. Yeah. No, because you never know who you're gonna run into or with whatever, man. I get so many calls from different people because you just and that's the thing, you can call us. You call me, you can call Brandon if you got woodworking questions. I know you're one of the people that's like gonna be like, no, it's my little secret. No, it's all about helping each other out. So no matter what the question. What was one today? Or last night, we've got a vet that's, about to be homeless, and he reached out, and now we've got all sorts of people blasting out for him right now. But no matter what it is, man, always answering that phone and helping each other out. And it's great. And especially with these veteran businesses where a lot of these guys don't, they wouldn't have think to go to, like mine, it was an Oktoberfest, and I've got a vendor booth for well, I'm selling everybody else's products, but it was weird, but who knows? A lot of these guys wouldn't have a vendor booth at an Oktoberfest. Well, now here's that opportunity for you to do that, But it's all about networking and getting out there and meeting these people, and so it's great. So thank you for that, and thank you for helping out these other guys on the platform as well. So that's awesome.
Oh yeah, that'd be my biggest thing for anybody watching. Whatever you do, try to be active in the group. That way, people know what product you offer. Because if I know somebody's looking for beard oil or something, I'm going to send them the Patriot Beard Supply before I send them to some other guy down the road. Or like Patriot Metalworks, I actually had a guy from my church. He was looking for a metal sign.
Yeah,
I know a guy, and I got him in contact with him and made a sale for him. And he's always in Pennsylvania. It never hurts to know what other people do. And like you said, there's a lot of woodworkers out there, but at the same time, my style is not the same as Rustic Whiskeys or anybody else's. We've all our own different style. We all make different things. One guy may only make flags, whereas honestly, I'll make you whatever you want.
We don't know if it'll be good, but we'll make it. No,
it might not be pretty, but this box right here, I ain't gonna lie, man. When that guy ordered that, I was like, yeah, I can do a 2 foot by 3 foot wood foot locker. How hard could that be? Man, I've got like 50 different scrap pieces where it wasn't strong enough, and I couldn't get it just right. I wouldn't give it to the guy, so I'd take it apart and I'd do it again, or I'd use different pieces, and his logo, he wanted his logo hand carved on there, and that took
and behind you there too, we were just talking before we were recording, your very first wooden sign there. So you did that, and you said you did that with a Dremel, or what? Or
wood burner.
Oh, wood burner. There we go.
10 years ago, probably. When I was still a police officer working third shift, and my wife, she was like, "I think we need a family rules sign," and I was like, "A family what?" And she started explaining it to me, and we sat down and wrote them up and everything, and she was like, "I'd like this," and I was like, "Okay." So I took a wood burner and I burnt everything on it.
So, with you being a Marine, did she spell it out for you first, and then? Oh man, that rolled. Well, I've got when you posted that autism flag that glows a bit, man, I sent that over to my buddy Jimmy over in California because he was the one with the tattoo on it. So I'm hoping he could, because he absolutely loved it, and then he shared it on his end. So I know that flag's getting shared around, the California thing from that post you did, because man, he was the first one. I was like, you got to see this, man. So it's good, man.
It's been a very popular flag. I've sold quite a bit of them, and it helps because everyone that I sell, I donate a percentage to the Autism Project Hope right here in Spartanburg, and it helps out local kids in the area. And like you said, we did the superhero pieces with the puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
And we did a contest, and we put on there we was going to give one, whatever kid in the comment section gets the most likes, we were going to give them one of the autism things. We ended up giving 4 of them away. I mean, two of the little boys were neck and neck, and then I was like, well, I can't give the 2 boys, and there were only 2 girls, but I was like, well, she got a pretty good amount. I'm just going to give her the Wonder Woman too. My wife's like, you can't keep giving everything away. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, at the same time, just seeing those kids' faces when you showed up and gave them something.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just watching them look at it in amazement. I see the way my son is. He wants every flag that I bring in, he wants to keep. Everything. It doesn't matter. I could put the Dallas Cowboys on it, and he don't know who the Dallas Cowboys is, but he want to keep it.
He wants to keep it. Don't do that to your son, man.
But I mean,
that's cool, man.
Little stuff like that, and then that's just what we try to do. Is at the same time we're making a living, but we want to affect and change people's lives too.
Yeah, absolutely.
We take. Hang on, I think I got one real quick.
Now we can see that beautiful flag too.
Yeah, these little guys here.
Oh, that's cool.
Call them our little freedom seeds, and they're made out of scrap wood. So you can see, I mean, it's smaller than an iPhone.
Oh yeah.
And I take the scrap wood and bring them in, and my wife and kids, they paint the stripes for me, and we drum a lot of little stars. And every show we go to, we watch out for the kids that kind of show the shock and awe in their eyes, like, holy crap, these flags are beautiful,
Yeah.
And we'll stop them and bring them over and say, hey, can you say the Pledge of Allegiance? And if they say the Pledge of Allegiance, we give them one, and they take it home.
That's cool, man. That's way awesome. I love that. I didn't know you did that at all.
Yeah, we do it
really
just
cool.
about every. I mean, it ranges. Sometimes we'll take 8. Sometimes we'll take 10. We might only have 4 made. It just depends on how many I can get done in time. But just watching the kids, they love it.
Yeah, no, that's great, man. So do you have your logo on the back so they know where they came from, or is it just straight up? Oh yeah, all right, good.
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
I got a wood burner. Gearhart Industries, I think, is where I got it. I couldn't find. They may be veteran owned. I don't know. I looked around and tried to find a veteran owned like branding company where they can make your brand for you.
Maybe that's a question we could throw up in the group, man, and see if who knows somebody. Yeah. So I don't know. That's cool, man. I really like that idea.
Like Georgia or something, but I heat that thing up and put my logo on everything. When we first started out, I was just using the laser and flipping it over, and it would engrave my logo on the back, and it took forever.
Oh, yeah.
And I've gone through some ups and downs and learned what companies to deal with and what companies don't. So if we don't have any veteran brand makers out there, if you're looking into getting a brand, go with Gearhart. There's another bigger one out there that a lot of people see. He'll screw you over as far as money and everything. I paid this guy $100-something for a brand. Said it would take 2 weeks. A month later, it was not in the mail, and he was giving me this spiel on Facebook Messenger that he's in the hospital and pretending like he's somebody else,
Oh, really?
Just give me my money back. So he said, all right, refund it. He refunded it.
Yeah, at least he refunded it.
No, I didn't get it
Oh,
back.
he didn't refund it. Oh.
He said he refunded it, and I disputed PayPal, but he actually mailed the thing out 3 months after I had ordered it. And when it got to me, it was just a piece of crap. You know, the logo was chipped off and didn't even look right. And I tried to dispute it with PayPal again, but they were like, well, since the guy, it shows delivered, he gets his money. And I was like, man, you got to be kidding. So, and I've tried to make a post and warn people about him, but for some reason, Facebook won't allow me to do it. I don't know why. And he's got one of those pages where you can't leave a review.
So beware of those. No, and I think that's what I've noticed within the veteran community. Obviously, there's some bad apples out there, but 99.9999% of the time, these veterans are out there, you know, you're gonna get a solid product. You're gonna get it on time. If there's gonna be an issue, they're gonna communicate with you. You know, so that's one thing I've loved about this. Each and every single person that's on the VRV that we're doing stuff with, man, their heart and souls and everything. You're not gonna get that crap from them whatsoever. You know, not a single person on the VRV. You know, and I love to say for all veteran-owned businesses, but I know there's some out there that aren't. So. Yeah. But yeah, I love seeing that where it's like you're looking for that veteran business because you know it's going to come in good. So we'll put a post up, man. We'll try to get something up and going and see if we can find you somebody. And then there's another collaboration going on, so that'd be cool. But yeah, we'll right on, brother. So yeah, I think that's about it. I'll start blabbing forever too, man.
Yeah, will too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because once I start going, and then everybody knows, like, oh god, it's another boring video with him on it. But no, so everybody, so we'll post up your stuff, Deep South Creations SC. We'll put up the links up here, and where you can go and follow Brandon. We'll put some pictures out to the video so you can see some of his stuff, and that's it. So anything else you want to say at all? And we're not driving into another 15-minute conversation, so.
No, I'm good. We might do another video another day.
Well, right on, Brandon. Well, thanks for coming on, man. And I love having you on the VRV. So everybody go and support him, like, share stuff, comment. And yeah, we'll talk to you again soon, brother.
All right.
All right, man. See you, bud.
See ya.